Welcome to Growth Island, your go-to podcast on how to be the best version of yourself. Now, let's join your host, Mess Freeze, as he interviews high performers and experts in nutrition, meditation, exercise, relationships, business, general health, and life's bigger mysteries.
So thanks for tuning in today. I am at the Health Optimization Summit in London with some of the most amazing people. And I've been super lucky because I got one of the very best speakers over here. Dr.Barry Morguelan. I didn't pronounce that right, but he's very...
Yeah, he did. That's why everybody calls me Dr. B.
Dr. B.
All over the world, as when I was just doing surgery all the time, endoscopic surgery, the kids would always say, it's Dr. Morguelan. And they go, I can't say that. I say, what's Dr. Barry? My first thing they go, they can't, the kids would say, how about Dr. B? And they would all go, B, 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 B. And so then the kids loved it, so then it was easy.
Yeah.
So you can call me Dr. B, go ahead.
And you're a medical doctor?
Yeah, I'm a medical doctor, gastroenterologist, researcher, teacher for over 30 years. Trained at UCLA, practiced at Los Angeles and all over the world.
But what's much more exciting about you is you're the only Western grandmaster of this Chinese tradition.
Yeah, of source energy.
50,000 years tradition.
That's, 5,000 years.
5,000, sorry.
Yeah, I wish it was 50,000 years ago. Prehistoric man.
So tell me a little bit about that. Because I saw a session with you earlier and it was absolutely fantastic. Something that happened.
You were there when I did the presentation, huh?
Yes.
Yeah, and the purpose of the presentation was sort of give you just a beautiful, taste of each one of the different aspects of what you can get for anybody who goes to the website, energyforsuccess.org, and just takes any of the free items or the free items that you're going to be offering on this so they can experience the source energy. The source energy really is what I was trained in China with the Grand Master was, he explained to me, it's the root of the tree that has branches of all Chinese medicine. So you start with this white light and you break it up into colors like a beautiful, rainbow. So with the root of a tree, then one branch is Qigong, one branch is Tai Chi, one branch is Kung Fu, one branch is herbology, one branch is acupuncture. Now the funny thing is that before I ever was allowed to learn this root, because it's not something that you get trained in, it's not even offered. I had to study this guy for years before he even offered for me to be educated in it, is that I learned all those other things. And the only reason that I learned those was I said, this is something that can really benefit people, so that my goal was that people didn't have to go through pain. People didn't have to suffer, either suffer mentally, emotionally, financially, physically. And because running an emergency room and doing surgeries, you see a lot of people get help, especially with endoscopes. They get to home sooner, but still they develop the problem. I want you to be your own doctor, be your own guru, be your own, person who discovers what it is to take care of yourself, and be your own shaman. So, what kind of question you want to ask me?
So, I want to hear how we can talk a bit about your story as well. I heard it before. How you actually been learning from some of the great people around the world, traveling around.
It took a long time to discover this source energy because one, the source energy, no books about it. It's only referred to by other disciplines like Qigong. When I was at Shaolin Monastery, they referred to that, well, there was an ancient discipline, but it's never been written down. It's not available. But this is what we'll teach you here. It was wonderful. But what happened was I became a gastroenterologist at UCLA over 30 years ago. And that's a university in Southern California. And then when I developed my private practice after I left my training there, it was within 5 years of being trained that I already hit the top. I already had a great thriving practice. I had 2 offices right away, plus I was teaching, plus I'd done research. So I had been making a contribution everywhere to people, and I loved it. The only problem was that I said, I've got the rest of my career, and this first 5 years has really gone by quickly, but I'm not, thrilled that people still suffer to come to see me. I don't, especially operating in the emergency room, somebody comes in, they're sick, and you get them well, and then 2 months later they come back with another problem. So I said, this got to stop. This is stuff that people keep injuring themselves, people getting hurt, people keep having financial crises and being depressed, suicidal, all those things that happen in our society can be stopped if we could stop the thing preempted. Get it before you get distracted by some illness, injury, financial crisis, emotional crisis, family crisis. So all that's what I went on a search to try to find, is there any other discipline an alternative discipline. Because when I started out, there's no such thing as alternative medicine or integrative medicine. It was, as a matter of fact, the surgeons, the other surgeons, doctors in the medical building were, they're very critical because, only one way to do things is the old traditional Western surgical way. And they were, who do you think you are, Indiana Jones? Are you looking for the fountain of youth? And I said, maybe, I don't know, but I've already completed this. Yeah. And I already know where this is going to go in Western medicine. Not that it's wrong, it's just could you complement it? Yeah. Could you make it so that people wouldn't have to have a broken bone? They could actually stay healthy. And it's real funny, I have treated a lot of people, like Tony Robbins and a lot of very famous people throughout the years, but I've always been in the background.
Yeah.
Some of those people get injured all the time, and they use these techniques so they don't get injured, so they can stay healthy. And like Tony's on stage for 19 hours, 18 hours a day. It's amazing.
How do you get to work? So Tony Robbins and Dave Asprey.
That's not all. That's many people. A lot of Olympians, a lot of people that have won Academy Awards, people who've written books, people who've written plays, movies. Yeah, a lot. I was always in the background. I was always by word of mouth. But to get to that stage, I went through 6.5 years going to so many countries, just trying to learn what else they have. Now, how did I learn it? Well, it wasn't popular to learn it in those days. It wasn't such thing as alternative. So I would go there and teach endoscopic surgery in that location. I was in Italy, I was in France, I was in England, I was in Russia, and all those places. After I was teaching, I would ask them and say, hey, do you have anything else that would be, something else alternative? They go, well, you're teaching us. What are we going to teach you? I said, well, something more older that's been tried and true, and something. He says, you want something like my great grandmother uses. That's old. Why do you want that? I went, because I really think that there's something missing to complement, Western medicine, like people not getting sick, people staying stronger, getting healthier, and being able to contribute as part of their family. Because once someone's out from either health or emotional or financial, you're not that much of a contributor in your family. I'm in to all of us. My goal is that we all are in a win-win relationship with life. So, because I believe we can get world peace that way. So, win-win relationship means that when I get an ice cream cone, you get an ice cream cone too, same time. So whatever goes on, whether we're in business together or whether we're just studying together or whether we're doing research same place, we're both going up at the same time. It's not one person wins, the other person loses, which is the story of so many different businesses. People go out there and start a business and, maybe one person in the company is doing well, the rest of the people are not happy because they're not all going up at the same time. But if everybody's still moving up and they have a vision and they're progressing along with, their goals and their purpose, then you're going to be thrilled to collaborate with those people. We have people all over the world now that are doing the source energy exercises, the practices, and they all collaborate.
So what are some of the foundations in these teachings?
The foundations, well, after going to Philippines and all these different places and learning about, like in England, the Bach remedies, and France, the aromatherapy, and in Germany, all the electrical devices like Rife that will vibrate you. In Central America and South America, I had to learn about all the herbs and shamanism and all the drugs that are so popular now. People are so interested in doing microdosing. But I can tell you down there it was microdosing and macrodosing too. Yeah. So there was no limit to what they thought they could do in Ecuador and all throughout Central America on getting someone to say, well, these altered states. But then what happens when that's over, you come back to your own life again. And it's still that if you're caught, like I was with someone the other day in a very nice place, a spa area they invited me to, and we were at a meditation class. So I went with this other client of mine to a meditation class, and what happened was, after we got out, we were all saying, oh, don't you love it that you feel, a little noise in the background, don't you love it that you feel more calm and more relaxed? And so he's an executive, he said, yes, I really like my meditation, that really works. And then we got to his car, and he had a parking ticket. He went, oh my God, he just blew up. And I said, calm down, what happened to your meditation? He goes, I don't care, this ticket, I never should have gotten it. And so that's what I'm saying, the drugs and all the things that we do in the world, things I learned, even in the Philippines, psychic surgery, all that stuff works. It's great for a break from your life, but it won't be something that will elevate you so that we're all doing win-win all the time. So that you're getting stronger physically, emotionally, mentally. So this discipline I finally learned after I learned all these other disciplines you've heard about throughout traveling, 160, 180,000 miles. It took me 6.5 years. I took off every 3 months from my practice, but everybody said, your practice is going to dissolve because you're gone. I went, I know what I'm looking for, and I know it has to exist, and I believe that because it does exist, I think that things will be fine. Yeah. And they were fine. My practice only increased. People asked, where is he? When is he coming back? And it became something that I had such a relationship with my patients, even when I was gone, that they would wait. Mm-hmm. So it was a wonderful, wonderful experience of being able to be supported by your own patients to find something else that would allow you not to ever to get sick. So I'm trying to get rid of my own patients in advance, because I would rather you all, like everybody else's family and your children and people you know, your parents, you'd rather not go through any stress. This world's filled with stress, and it's totally unnecessary. And if they would experience energy for success that I want other people to now take advantage of, that I brought back for the first time in the world, then people can start getting that benefit.
So what are some of the things in energy for success?
It works out in 4 different practices. 4 major. 1, physical practices. Yeah. And these are practices that are 5,000 years old. They come all the way back from the time of Juan Di, the Yellow Emperor. And before Juan Di, he had like over 70 grandmasters that taught him. That's a lot of people to teach you. Mm. And then he wrote the book, The Yellow Emperor from China, which started all traditional Chinese medicine. And then other people, and finally up to Lao Tzu about 2,500 years ago, who invented the yin-yang symbol. And so all those things relate to these 4 things, which is that quantum physics and releasing these energy sensors in your body. And so once these sensors are open, you can open them by physical practices. Mm-hmm. And I demonstrated some of those for you today, and you see they're not difficult. Remember, we were moving our hands around. Remember this? Yeah, this. Yeah. And this is just one of 150 of these things, you know, and they're so much fun because you feel better, and you can do them with your sitting or standing eye people. I do them outside surgery between cases so that I can just amp back up and be in top form so that the case goes smooth and quickly and safe.
And that's just for the listeners that didn't see the video. It's basically putting your fingers together.
Rotating your hand. Well, the first one we showed was this one. Turn your hands facing the palms up, both fingers interlaced, but it has to be over your ears, straight, over your ears, behind your head, not chin down, chin straight, and relax the neck, but pull this up and stomach in. That's it. Very good. And just keep pushing up, and then go 3 times, higher each time. 1, 2, 3, and then hold it for a second, and then let it out fully. See, you can do it at your seat, you can do it wherever you are. And if you can, and we have them all listed for you, depending on what you want. Daytime, morning, evening, illness, before sports. We have a number of people that are in the Olympics, that are in professional sports. They do these practices in warm-up. Mm-hmm. So there's the physical practice. Then there's the guided breathing visualizations. I think you listen to one of those with the headphones. So we have a number of those for whatever it is. If you have heart problem, if you have lung problem, if you have bone problem, if you have relationship, you haven't found your soulmate yet, we have one for that. More than one for all these. And what you just listen to it, and what's in there is usually a guided visualization where you are taken through these different scenes, and you can just sit there and relax and either partially listen or just let your ears take it all in, and then that works on you. It opens your senses. Just like when you're in sunlight, your skin develops, a little freckle, which is melanocytes, which are sensors. We just call melanocytes sensors of the sun. Whenever, as soon as the sun hits it, just like when the sun hits a plant starts to grow, develops chlorophyll with melanocyte. It starts to get more of those little yellow-orange crystals, and it gets larger, and you'll finally get a tan. Mm-hmm. And it also makes vitamin D. So you see, your sensors are what determines so many things in your body. It's how the whole system is coordinated. So that's what the breathing exercises, and then there's this. We start with physical. Then we have videos where I teach certain for programs that you really want to go fast. Say you want to meet someone, you want to see an entrepreneur. We have a whole entrepreneurial series. You watch that series, and I'm telling you all the pitfalls where you could be distracted from, you being successful. And what that distraction is, I call it sort of the culture from which we've come, mm-hmm. which is, you could call it the matrix or whatever it is that gets in your way. So these video courses, you watch them for 50 minutes each, and included in them, there's also the audio. There's also guided breathing visualization, there's also physical, but the video, I'm talking directly to you and say, you need to watch out for this, you need to watch out for that. This is how you recognize this, how to recognize a good person, to either date or connect with. You can actually determine that by connecting to multiple things in their field of.
What could be an example of that? What could be an example of that?
Well, believe it or not, people are divided into, in this discipline, 4 categories. And so it's like first category, second category, third category, fourth category. If you can work with people in category 1 all the time, which are just people that are win-win, which is that if I get an action problem, you get one too, then they feel bad if they rip you off, because they're the kind of person that if they find something that's wrong, they're not going to blame you for it. It's their fault.
Yeah.
So that's a trusted person. You can work with that. You can fall in love with that. You can trust that person. You can go into business with that kind of person. So the more and more people can learn to differentiate, distinguish who they're with. If they're a category 1 person or a win-win person, you're going to have a better life, a better world. You're not going to have these cases where, I don't know, I trusted that person. They ripped me off. So that's category 1. Then there's category 4. We go 2 and 3. I'll go into if we have time. Category 4 is a person who definitely knows that the way to make it in life is win-lose, which is, I know that you're not going to put up with me, whoever I am, that makes your life miserable, and I'm going to be able to take things and you'll just settle and settle out of court or whatever it is, but I'm going to try to make money illegally off of everybody, or do they're the people who do these sham business deals, or, they're people who get married and they have terrible relationships and bail and come out profitable because they lied before the marriage, they lied in the relationship. A lot of people say that, I met this person and I don't know, after we lived together for a while, it's not the same person, because that person may have intended that. And then category 2 and 3, category 2 is still the win-win category, but they're unconscious about it. Category 3 is unconscious in terms of win-lose, but they're very vitriolic about being right. They're very vitriolic. So they say, I'm right, and I believe in this philosophy, or I believe in this country, or I believe in this religion, I believe in this way of doing things.
And how do you help them?
Those people, you have to learn how to relate to them by being win-win, and many of them will reach to be category 2. They'll say, it's much easier, I think, to get along, and they'll transition. The other ones who just want to say, no, I'm just right, everybody should vote this way. If they don't, forget them. They'll run away from you anyway. Or you may have to get a lawyer to get in the way, but the problem is they're not going to support you, because even though they won't admit it, they're into win-lose, which is they're going to win and you're going to lose, which means in every deal, they're going to come out ahead. So how you apply that with people, you see, is once your sensors are open, you can see it right away. So, you're not difficult to figure out. You're category 1 for the first time I met you, so it's not even a question. That's why I decided in the interview, you're a win-win guy. So I knew I'd have fun. So I'm having fun, even though, working all day and presenting is still fun, so I love it. So the last category is we have catapult calls, and we have auditory, we have calls that you can listen to. And in those calls, we always do with the topic. Like we have a topic called procrastination. We have a topic called how to take feedback, or a topic called how to give negative input to your best friend or your relationship and still have a relationship really strongly excel from that. How to have a busy day and still have time for golf or tennis. How to have a busy day, still have time for your relationship, and not bark when they call you and go, I can't talk, I'm busy, And then
that happens so often.
Yeah, and then what happens? The other person, or it's a guy or a gal, goes, this person doesn't even know I exist. They think I'm just some interference. You're always calling just to be affectionate, and the person on the end who barks is just too frenzied. And so that's why I love the 8 things that go with, that you get out of each one of those modalities, whether it's listening, or the kinesthetic, the physical, or the visual, the video ones, or the guided visualization ones, which are the ones that take you to the highest levels of enlightenment very quickly. You don't have to we have many meditation teachers and Kundalini teachers, all those people who want to raise that, and they know that all they do is listen to this audio, and it'll immediately take you up through all those vibrational spaces. And the reason I'm using the word vibration or frequency is that, I know it's not a common word, yet if you know quantum physics, which all came back from those days of Lao Tzu and before him, is that they worked it out so that everything is either going to exist as a choice between positive or negative, the yin-yang symbol, the Bagua. And as long as you have both in the field at one power or another, then things will exist in a way that you can relate to them. So you can't have something completely all positive, it has to have a little bit of negative, but it's not supposed to be crazy like our world is now. See, it was the way the world was supposed to be was with the, you know what leek soup is or potato soup?
You know what potato soup is?
Yeah, potato soup. Well, potato soup is really good, but if you put just a little bit of white pepper in it, it tastes good. So the white pepper is the matrix. Now, if you have a whole soup of white pepper, you've destroyed it. That's our world today.
Yeah.
I call it all the matrix. You have it's just ridiculous. People get stuck in ruining things because they get distracted. But in their better mind, when they finally do these guided breathing visualizations or the meditations, all of a sudden they start making better decisions. That's why there's so many people. We've collected their testimonies, over 40,000 of them over the past 15 years that have written in that, all of a sudden, my income is going massive. And I have more free time. I'm making more money. I've become more creative. My book got accepted. My play got accepted because now you've got that power within you that's always been there. You just couldn't unleash it. And the power to unleash it is there, just like in learning to ride a bicycle. Until you get balance, you're going to fall over. But once you finally keep searching inside your body and you get the balance, then you stop shaking on the handlebars and you've got it. So you don't have to have anybody hold. You can ride without holding on because you're able to balance through the sensors in your body with gravity. Up till then, you couldn't relate the two. So you have sensors for, like I told you, the sun. You have sensors for oxygen, CO2, you have sensors for being able to pull the energy for being smarter. All those vibrations are just available to you. And vibrational understanding, if you understand quantum physics, is pretty much like if you look at way down research between molecules and atoms, and inside of there's quarks and protons and electrons. But if you look at this example like light, when they look really close at light, especially with the slit lamp experience, that it's a wave sometimes, and then sometimes it's a dot. And they go, well, which one is it? It's both. How do you know it's both? Well, you have to see at that moment which one it is. It's not both at the same time. It'll be both. It'll be a dot, then you watch, and then it goes to wave. So what is happening between dot and wave? A frequency. It's going back and forth, back and forth. So that's how we have existence, is it goes back and forth between one state and another, and that gives you this whole wonderful world. Sort of like the frequencies, if you looked at a spectrum of color, a rainbow, it has red, green, all those different beautiful frequencies. Each one of those, if you call it out, it becomes just that color, it's that frequency, but you put them all together, you get white light, which is the source again. And then everything goes back to the origin. So you've got those two, the source, and then you've got these different colors, and that's what balances each thing in the universe.
Makes sense.
So you need that energy to keep all the different frequencies cranking.
Yeah. So with your entire program, something that I really took away when I saw your presentation is the people seem to live it. And you have this amazing energy around it. And a few people that you meet around this conference just have this amazing energy. You can see
all the people in my booth are volunteers, and all of them have been around the energy for doing energy practices for at least 5 years, and they're all just phenomenal people. Look at him.
Yeah.
He's from Italy, and he says, he's all glowing, and I'm not doing his practices, he's doing them. Yeah. You're built to succeed. You're built to be a winner. You're built to be an Olympic star. You just know that when you were a little kid. But then you gave it up because, I call it the matrix, you got distracted by all these beliefs and thoughts that have nothing to do with your being successful, but they're fit into the nature of, well, maybe that's not appropriate for you. Maybe you should become, the top lawyer in your firm before you take any time off. And no, you don't have time to be nice because you're worried about making your money, your bottom line, and all those things. You can psychologically try to fix them, but it doesn't work. I have so many psychologists and psychiatrists who do these programs that we've got set up over the years, and they write in that they give them to their patients because the patients, they said, now the psychotherapy works. Now the psychology works because they can hear them, because the Prozac doesn't really allow them to listen and be calm enough to go, oh yeah, I can see how I'm doing this, how I'm responsible for causing it. And then you can stop it immediately. So you don't need to change who you are. That's why I love the source energy, because I've done it with, or observed people doing the practice themselves, every skin color, every race, every ethnicity around the world. And everybody gets the same result of what they want in those 8 areas. It's amazing. So that's why I think it's a source of world peace.
Yeah. But how do you start your day?
How do I study it every day?
No, how do you start your day? How do you run your day
I would never start the day without the 90 minutes.
Yeah.
no matter where I am, whether I'm here in London or whether I'm in Spain or whether I'm in the US, because I've tested it out over there. I've done a million tests on my life. And if I do, let's say I've had a late surgery in the middle of the night and I had to sleep, and I said, I'm just going to try to go back into to work early tomorrow morning and just make an end early. And I don't do the practices, it doesn't turn out well at all. But if I do the practice, all of a sudden you're revived and you're clear and you go, okay, what I'm going to do today is reschedule half of this day. You make great decisions once you've got all these sensors open. And then you're balanced and you can see clearly.
So the 90 minutes, that's 90 minutes.
Yeah, but you don't have to do 90 minutes. I do it because I'm a teacher and I'm an educator and I'm someone who's bringing this to the world, and I'm treating people each day with this and creating material for you all. But for you all, 30 minutes to an hour a day, you're going to crush it. We have people that actually play these audios in their office building because all their employees, you've got waves around you all the time. You've got Microsoft playing away, you've got Google playing away, you've got, whoever it is, this podcast playing away around you, and you pick up which ones you want to, depending on your receiver. So in your body, you have all these receivers, these sensors that actually are just being hit, and you're not even aware of them, so you can tune into them. So,
what do you do in those 90 minutes?
But in those 90 minutes, I do all the things I just talked to you about. Okay. And just more than you would ever do. And for you all, you just pick the ones you want to do depending on your goals for that day. So if you want to have better work, then you'll have work results. You want to have better serendipity on command, so things turn out your way without any stress. You can have that. If you want to be a energy warrior, we've had people that want to get their black belt at Qigong or Tai Chi. They do these practice every day, and then they're able to go in and get their belts like really great, like second and third degree black belt, where they couldn't get it before. So for everybody else, of course you can do more. If you did more, you're going to be more successful, but then you're going to have so much fun. You know what you're going to do. You have nothing to complain about. So you just have money, happiness, health, and success, which is a new world. And I'm telling you, that's why some people, they say, well, if I do it more often, will I have more results? I said, that's the way you're built. You're built to keep expanding. Mm-hmm. So some people that they start doing the practice a half an hour in the morning, they do it half an hour at night, and they keep averaging more and more time per day, and the results keep being that they have more free time because they're more effective.
And we make the right decisions.
Yeah, we make so many bad decisions almost every day. And if you look at someone and you say, hey, how come you married this person and eventually got divorced, and you come afterwards say, forget about the children that you have, but if you still married for them, you knew you were going to get divorced 5 years later. And they did this study and they showed them almost everybody said, no, I don't think so. I don't think it is. I think it would have been an easier route to find the right person and stay with them. Because it's too much aggravation going through legal things and separating broken hearts. If you could do it right, you do it right. You're made to do things win-win. It's just people get distracted. And this allows you not to get distracted by a political party, by some, left wing, right wing, whatever it is, and allow you to work together as human beings with each other. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if they did half an hour twice a day, or an hour twice a day, they're just going to have free time. It won't take up time.
No.
Yeah.
And doing that, they would be listening to audio and then
or doing the physical exercise or watching a video.
Yeah.
You can do the audio in a car, or you can do it at home. You can do it in your office. Just enjoy.
Mm. So what do you find that some of these top performers that you coach, what are some of the biggest challenges? Because they're already reaching the highest level. So what is over that? I think fulfillment is for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's genius. It doesn't matter who you are, even if you're a billionaire. Like I had this one gentleman, I think I told you about, he owns a football team. Yeah, so he's very successful. He has a lot of money and he has a lot of power. But he came to me because the other 7 he doesn't have at all. His relationships at home, his children, he was not happy. His physical health and getting younger and stronger every day, that's not happening either. He's completely out of shape physically, and his total flexibility is going less and less. His calmness and being centered all day, no, not entering in the zone or flow at all. Because everything is grit and push and push and push. And you push your whole life, you're going to push yourself into the grave, and you know that. And then all the other 7 just weren't working at all. He wasn't having anything serendipity. Everything was an uphill climb. So you know how big people talk about that. They go, life, it's difficult. And I don't blame you. I've been through both difficult sides. That's how come I know this is so what you need. what people really benefit from and will allow you to have much less pain, much more success. That's why the company's called energyforsuccess.org or New Life Energy, because you get to drop all the karma that you think you've got or hacks or bad things that have happened in this life and start newly. It's really refreshing. And people show in their faces. We took photos of that lady yesterday. I don't think you saw the blonde lady, but HB, we took her photo. That's her initials. Because I wanted to show her that just 5 minutes of doing the exercises, her face would change completely. She actually would look younger. And she said, I don't know that. I went, no, we'll take your photo with your camera. And so we did. And then we compared her photo from 5 minutes earlier to the one we did after she did the exercises to her wedding photo, which would be your best photo. And this was better than both of those other two. And she admitted it. So then she said, I'm going right over there. I'm going to enroll these programs. And she did. She was there today. She enrolled in that, the 8-day Fast Start program, which I think you're giving as a gift on this show. And then also she enrolled in special, and she did the master class, and she's related to have that all the time. Why shouldn't she look her best? And how does it happen so fast? Well, it isn't that I'm doing it, it's you're doing it with whatever you believe, the universe, God, Mother Nature, but it's how you were built inside, and beauty comes from where? The inside. So it's actually waiting for you. Now, where is it on the inside? It's in those sensors waiting to be stimulated by you learning how to stimulate them yourselves, how to control them without grip. Just like the way you control when you jump on a bicycle right now, you haven't ridden for years, you'll all of a sudden, until you find the center, and then you're good. Then you can ride. And that's how you're built. And that's what they discovered thousands of years ago. And it's the source of not only being a warrior, being powerful, and be able to win physically, but it's also being someone who can make smart financial decisions. And also find the right person for your companion, and also find the right employees, the right boss. Also the right efficiency for your time. People in the energy do not complain of being overwhelmed. They do not complain that life is too difficult, because you're not allowing yourself to get sucked into everything else, and it isn't a mental decision. You're just like a skier, just avoiding that mogul and you're going around it.
I love you start off surfer.
Yeah.
Showing kind of like.
Yeah. You notice how the surfer just takes life, and he doesn't control the ocean. She doesn't control the ocean. The ocean could have any kind of wave whatsoever. And they also don't even know what their feet are doing. They're assuming that they'll be able to pull, and that's why there's the quantum physics. You are essential to every single thing that happens in this world. So then, which sense you want to use to keep your toes over the board, and then ride it. It's so similar. I love that. And anybody who's ever done roller skating or snow skiing, when you first started, are you successful in the beginning? No. You fail all the time. And that's the way this planet's set up. It has a lot of specific rules. If you learn to follow the rules, you're going to do great. So what's one of those rules? Well, on this planet, you're going to be learning all the time. When my mother turned 90, she still had to learn how to use a new remote control for the TV and an iPad. She was all over. Why don't you learn? I said, they don't make the other thing anymore. So at 90, she had to learn, and that's capable. She's able to do it. She didn't start doing the energy techniques until she was 80. So the point is that your goals in life are there for you to win it, and that's why they acknowledge you. And you can develop all those by doing the energy practices. So there isn't any limitation on you, and you know that. It's just that we give it up after a certain age, maybe after the age of 5, 8, or whatever, and we go, what got in the way? Life, a bunch of bad problems. And yes, I understand the pain that goes with that, but you don't have to keep repeating that, because you can all of a sudden elevate yourself to the level that you can stay on your platform, on your board of success, so that you can win. I really want people to know that their future can be so much brighter just with a small investment of their time in themselves. Invest in yourselves. Take an opportunity. Yes, it's okay if you want to take supplements, if you want to do a bunch of other things. Those are all great, but this will augment that. This will support that. This is how you're made. You're made to actually sense all these different parts of your body and receive the energy that's available to you, all the different colors of the rainbow, the different frequencies, and that's what makes you able to do things. People think, oh, well, you sure it isn't. I'm like just what if I give myself just a drug, dopamine, if I give myself epinephrine? Well, those type of things in Western medicine cause yes, you get a benefit, but it also causes your heart to race, there's collateral damage, you can have all these other problems with vasoconstriction. So there's so many side effects that the benefit of you being maybe a little more awake and apt doesn't work. You end up with so many side effects that you have, disease or a heart attack or a lung problem while you're out on the ice. So really the opportunity that life is wonderful. The opportunity that most people obtain in their lives is not so much. So that's why I do this every day. I'm actually trying to get this out to people so that everybody can have the life they deserve. And the life you deserve is those 8 things expanding every day. And if you don't choose to have them expanding by doing these practices, then you're left up for grabs. And so what's going to happen? The guy next door is going to tell you what to do. How's he doing? The gal down the street, she's going to complain like she always does. You're not going to get the impact. That's what I call the culture which we come. It's really not an expanding culture. And this ancient quantum physics is based all on how we're made, what keeps us going and alive and happy. And you can find your soulmate in any location if you are vibrating the right frequency. It isn't a drug thing. It isn't something you have to force on yourself. You're actually okay inside. You're actually inside. You just got to reconnect it, just like the balance.
It is often said that you attract like-minded. So if you're really in balance with yourself, the chance of meeting someone else at a high frequency is much higher.
And the reverse is true.
Yes.
The reverse is what happens a lot.
Yeah, and then often you blame the other person for not being the right person, but probably you won't dare yourself either. So
And all the things that are difficult for people to understand psychologically or philosophically just are completely apparent in once you're doing the energy practice, source energy. Like the one that psychiatry and psychology have been working with you forever is you're responsible for everything you have to do. Well, no, I'm not. It's the other guy. The guy ran into me. I'm not responsible. But once you get that your field is something you have control over, well, what if your field is one that around me, I'm 360 degrees, and my whole sense of being is like the surfer. I'm not going to be falling off my board. Therefore, things around me, I'm going to pick them up so that I'm going to quickly move out of my lane before the guy crashes into me. I am checking my rearview mirror. I'm not looking down at my phone, texting. But I'm not saying that you can be awake all the time by force. That's the grit. It's sort of you're meant to win naturally. You're not meant to win by putting an umbrella over your head or some drug into your body that's going to make you do certain things, because life keeps changing. You have to be willing to expand.
You offered something very special for business.
Yeah.
Can you say a few words on that?
Only because of the promoters of this wonderful health optimization, they asked me to come up with 2 programs. And both of them are exceptional programs that we designed just for this health optimization summit, and for your listeners, they can take advantage. One is an introductory program. It's an 8-day QuickStart. And everything we've been talking about, you'll get tremendous benefit from it. Don't miss it. They should definitely, whatever the text is for that, or they should get that. Yeah. And then, because there's a special of this weekend, something we've never offered before, which is an extensive program that can take people really further, farther, faster, actually elevate and accelerate them in all their goals right away, like I was telling you about the different women and men who've just started for nothing, and now they're multimillionaires, or they've got great relationships, and it didn't take that long. For those people who want to have really quick, fast success, there's this program that's been, just for this weekend, we reduced it 88%. So it's incredibly inexpensive, and it's incredibly valuable. It's been right after this weekend, except for your visitors, it'll go back up to its much higher price.
It's definitely something to follow up on. That'll be in the show notes. So much.
Yeah, your listeners will take advantage of it. I mean, if I had what we're talking about today, I would, people say, well, you've got a lot of degrees right now, you've got a lot of training. I would probably have 10 more degrees, because you're so much more efficient. You don't get slowed up by any professor, any school, any relationship, any problem, any personal thing, any upset, any aggravation, because it doesn't affect you. You're like the surfer, you just surf right over it. And then you're able to stay in relationship with the world. The world being the ocean, you being you, and your modus of operating is the energy with your circle, right? And whatever your aspect is that you're using, that's, whether it's opening up your brain so that you're getting the Einstein part of your brain to open up, or opening up your creativity, opening up your heart space so that you can have a soulmate relationship with whomever you're with, someone that's really meant there for you, that's all waiting for you. It's waiting for all of us. It's a real chagrin. People have a lot of regrets later on in life. When they get older, whatever older is considered, whether it's teenager or super adult, they have regrets. And they go, I'm resentful about a lot of things. I regret. And you blame all these things, people, events, and yourself. None of that will be there because you'll be so successful. And we have the evidence for it, because I've got 40,000 testimonies collected over the past 15 years. And they were all sent in voluntarily. People just wrote them according to what was happening with them, and it was documented. And we saw people sharing their miracles every day. There's so many people around the world having success with these programs now that they, once you're in a program, you can participate in that free call every day. If you're in the master class, every day of the year, even New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, Christmas Day, whatever the day is, Monday through Sunday, every day, that there's a time where people share from all over the world about, oh, I've had this wonderful result. Oh, I had this court case where they canceled the entire case and my case was dropped. Oh, I had this relationship with my mother that I thought was going to be terrible because she has this disease, and for some reason I was able to find the perfect doctor who was able to get her, take care of her illness with one simple medicine, and now we're a happy family again. I mean, it doesn't mean that your mother has to all of a sudden ascend and become an angel to get along with it. It just means you've got to be able to figure out what's going on in the world so you can expand. One person in the relationship's got to expand, and the other people around you will follow suit. So what's available for them is both of those programs. I would miss them, and there's further programs on the website, energyforsuccess.org.
And I'll link to it in the show. Just before we round up, because time is running out, one final advice for the listeners.
I think the final advice would be that if you look at your entire life at one time, there's really the big three. And if you could focus on the big three, you would see that there's a whole different approach to your life. And the big three is that first, there is a solution for your problems. You're not stuck ever. You're not stuck. You really aren't. Even though you feel like you're stuck, you're not stuck. Even though you think you're stuck, you're like Churchill facing, imminent doom. He goes, "We shall prevail. We'll make it." And he got, saved England by getting everybody together and pulling in other forces that, they didn't get smushed by Hitler. So you are never stuck. There's a solution, but can you come up with a solution? Well, there's a solution now by using these practices. These practices allow you to, whether you work on a relationship, whether you work on physical attributes, whether you work on getting younger, whether you work on strength or mental prowess, all those things are there available to you on command as soon as being in the zone, as soon as you do these practices. So the practices are available to you and they will work for you. So the third one of the big three is that since the technology now exists, we brought it to you, and you don't have to be stuck, then it's just up to you. Are you willing to spend 30 minutes a day to have your entire life work? We have people, Dave's daughter, I don't know if you heard that, but he had her share that, I didn't even talk to her. She just saw Dave doing these practices and listened to the audio. She says, can I listen to that? And on her own, she liked it. I think that's when she was 11. And now she's been doing it for a year on her own, whole year. And then she got up on stage and said, yeah, they really work. She doesn't even know me personally. She only knows Dave, and she knows me through these audio tapes, which you can listen to. She listens before you go to bed. It allows you to sleep, way more better sleep, and wake up refreshed. So it doesn't matter, you get 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, you're going to be stronger that next day because all your sensors are open. And that's been studied by the Russians and studied by NASA, that they've always tried to, how do we do our astronauts? They seem to be awake all the time. How can we still have them refreshed? Well, there's certain vibrations that allow you to reach that spot. And these practices allow her to do it and allow these people to do it. So the third one is, yes, it will work for you if you do the practice. All you have to do is do it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Growth Island. Be sure to subscribe for more episodes on how to be the best version of yourself. And if you found this show helpful, then please leave us a review so more people will learn about the podcast, or share with a friend who can benefit from it too. Thank you again and have a wonderful day.